Guys, so I had the idea that I was going to share with you guys. I was going through my fridge and I noticed I had a ton of produce, and I was like, well, we're not going to waste any of this. What basically happened was I had a Misfits Market box, and I had already purchased some vegetables at a local farm stand. And so I ended up kind of getting a little bit overrun with vegetables, just like I did with the bananas the other day. And I was like, well, we're going to freeze them. So this was all a bunch of kale. And I just wanted to show you guys, maybe some people might not know. And I figured in case you don't, I will tell you. Kale freezes extremely well. You don't need to blanch it or do anything to it. Soda collards, in the same situation with them. You don't need to blanch them or do anything to them. They freeze really well. They're awesome for smoothies, but they're also awesome to throw in like soup. So you could grab like a handful of that out, rip it up a little bit more or chop it up a little bit more, and throw it in soup or smoothies, like I said. And so what you want to do is you get your stalk. This one was a collard green. I had like a couple collard greens, and I'm like, I'm just going to throw them in with the kale. You get your stalk, and then the leaves run up and down either side of the stalk, and you're just going to tear off up and down either side. And then these will go to the chickens for some extra snacks, and they'll tear those up. So that's what we're doing with that. And then I'm going to show you the rest of what I have. Next up is broccoli. So I'm cleaning these out a little bit in my nice cold water, my sink. Just giving them a little wash. And then I'm going to cut these up, and I'm going to put them in boiling water for 3 minutes to blanch them. I'm going to fill my sink back up with cold water to shock them. I just wanted to show you what I got going on. Here's my setup. So I got a timer on. I got my broccoli in some almost boiling water. And as soon as that's done, that timer's done, I'm going to stick them in here, and this water's super cold. And then I strained out the first batch already. I'm going to let the water really get off of that. Show you guys this too. So I'm actually washing all of the bags that the produce came in. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't have any bread bags left over. And this is what I store my bread in, bags just like this. So until I can get any more of those, these will definitely do the trick. So I'm just washing them, and I'm going to let them dry. And I'll flip them inside out and let the other side dry, and then I'll reuse them for my bread. Guys, I just took my broccoli out of the cold water, and I'm sticking it on the parchment paper, and I'm going to stick it in the freezer for about an hour or so, just until these get nice and frozen and hard. I have a freezer that freezes things pretty fast, so you're going to want these to be hard and definitely solid frozen before you put them in a bag, and then you can store them in your freezer. We've got our leek. I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to cut probably to about here off and stick it in water so I can grow another leek out of it. And then I'm going to submerge this in water and really get all the dirt out from it, because it's from a local farm, and when you get leeks from a local farm, they tend to have more dirt in them, which is totally fine because that's how leeks grow. But we just want to make sure we get all that sand and grit out and everything before I freeze this. Okay, guys, so I washed this out. It had a ton of sand in it. And then I just chopped them up in little pieces, and I did save the bottom, and I put that in a little bit of water so it can sprout for me. And I am going to freeze this. I'm going to put this in a bag and put it right in the freezer. And then this is probably going to go in a potato, leek, and ham soup that I'm planning to make. And I will take you guys with me when I do make that in the future. But for now, it's going to go in a bag, and it's going to go in the freezer so it doesn't go bad in my refrigerator. All right, guys. So I have, these are little baby bok choys that came in my market box. And so I have 4 of these. I've already cut 2. I'm cutting them in half like this, and I'm removing the little bottom piece off of them, the heart. And then tomorrow I'm having grilled salmon, and I'm going to saute these up, and I'm going to do like a garlic and oil and lemon on these, and I'll show you guys that when I do it. So that's how I'm doing these, and then I'm going to just stick these in the fridge so that they're ready tomorrow and I don't have to do any work. I just grill them up. I wanted to show you how this broccoli looks now. It's good and frozen, right? Good and frozen. That's going to go right in my bag and right in the freezer. Okay, moving on to the Brussels sprouts. So I took my Brussels sprouts out of the bag. I put them in some warm water in my sink, and I am trimming off anything that doesn't look awesome, like that doesn't look super awesome. So I'm just trimming that off. And then half of these are going to go in a bag and go in the freezer. Well, they'll go in a tray first and get frozen, and then they'll go in a bag in the freezer. And then the other half I'm going to cook and eat. So there they are. And I will show you guys when I do cook these what they look like. I'll probably do that tomorrow or the day after. All right, guys, here we are down in my freezer. I've got my kale, my broccoli, and my leeks all set in the freezer here. And now we've saved those and I don't have to worry about any of that going bad in my fridge. And I've got plenty of options for the week. Hey, guys. So I wanted to show you something. I was actually just getting ready to throw these in the freezer and I thought, ooh, I should videotape this. So what I'm doing is I had a whole bunch of bananas. When I had bought my bananas, I bought like 3 bunches. We don't normally eat that many bananas, but I knew this was going to happen this way. And so I figured this is what I wanted to do anyway. And since it took so long to get any fruit in, it took like a couple of weeks to get it delivered. So I decided that I would order a little extra and that when the bananas turned brown, I would break them into pieces, peel them, break them into pieces, and put them in a bag and stick them in the freezer. So that's what I'm doing. And so all of these are either going to be nice cream, which is like fake ice cream. It's like with a banana and some vanilla extract, which is awesome. If you guys have never had that, it is so delicious. And you can put toppings on. I mean, you can turn it into a sundae. It is so good. Or smoothies. So I have some frozen acai berry juice. And so I might make like some smoothie bowls or just some smoothies with I have some egg white protein powder. So I might make those things with these, but I wanted to show you guys. So like literally nothing going to waste here. All right, guys, I want to talk about Easter eggs for just a second. So I have duck eggs that are white, and then I have some brown layers that lay a really, really lightly colored brown egg. I guess it's almost like a peach colored egg. It's really light. So I don't have any white egg layers, but we're certainly not going to go to the grocery store right now and buy any of that. So this is what we're going to use to color our Easter eggs. We're making Easter eggs today. Do you want to, but Mommy got these last year, right?
Yes.
All right, so last year I waited until everything went on sale after Easter was over, and I got every single one of these for 20 cents a piece. This one was originally $4.99, this one was originally $3.99, and this one was originally $3. And my mom's here today, and we're gonna color some eggs. Mom, do you want to say hi?
No.
Okay, she doesn't want to say. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cook some of these Brussels sprouts up. So I'm boiling the Brussels sprouts for probably about a good 5 minutes. And then I'm going to take these out and drain them. In this pan, I've got bacon and some leeks. I'm going to saute those up. And then I've got some garlic right here, chopped up. I'm going to cut these guys in half, throw them in the air fryer for a few minutes until they start to get golden brown. Probably cook them on like 375 in the air fryer till they're golden brown. And then I'm going to toss them with the bacon grease, the bacon chunks, the leeks, and the garlic. Alrighty, enjoy, guys. I'll show you what I did really quick. So I cut up the Brussels sprouts. Some of them are already in the air fryer. I cut them in half. And then I just took a little bit of that bacon grease and just tossed them in that for now, just to give them a little something to help them brown up. So I'll be back with you guys when these are nice and golden. Alright, guys, here it is. So I took out the sprouts when they got nice and golden brown, and I tossed them in that mix that we made up of the bacon grease, a little bit of leeks, and some minced garlic. Tossed them up in that, and only other thing I added was a little bit of salt. It is really good. We're gonna save probably most of this to have with pork chops tomorrow night. Guys, there was one other thing I wanted to talk to you about this recipe. In the beginning of me making this, you'd notice that I was boiling the Brussels sprouts. The reason for doing that is that when you saute Brussels sprouts, they tend to be very bitter. If you boil them first, for whatever reason, that takes that bitterness away. And so that's why I boil them. So these are not bitter at all. They're just really delicious. So that's why you do it. And I hope you guys have a great night. And I hope that these tips helped you. And if they did, please subscribe, like, and share for more content. Take care, guys. Have a great night.